So 219 abortions occur every 1,000 births. This is looking at the medical and the reported sides, which means that one abortion occurs every 30 seconds. My purpose today is to persuade you to support opposing the overturn of Roe versus Wade. As this debate has been an ongoing issue since 1973, I have conducted research on both sides to be able to give you the most accurate information. Throughout my lifetime, I have met people who have carried on through an entire pregnancy and some people who have decided to have an abortion. While during their decision-making time, I have supported them no matter what, and now I have a strong knowledge of where I stand on this debate. I believe that after you hear what I have to say about Roe versus Wade, you will agree that a decision needs to be made on this everlasting issue. With that in mind, I will begin by expressing the problem, explain some of its causes, and then conclude with the solutions. With our roadmap in place, let's begin with the problem. The problem is Congress wants to see Roe versus Wade overturned. Multiple attempts to overturn this decision have been supported by Congress. I'm going to show you guys a slide. Alright, so this is showing that there is a decrease in abortions since Roe versus Wade. It increased right as the decision was made, and then it has decreased over the years. Go ahead and take a look at that for a little bit. Alright. An example of an act that Congress has supported is Protecting Life and Taxpayers Act of 2019, sponsored by Marsha Blackburn. This act has been introduced to Congress, but it is being considered to be sent to the House or to the Senate. The prohibition states that to prohibit federal funding to entities that do not certify, the entities will not perform or provide any funding to any other entity that performs an abortion. Though this bill is still in the hands of Congress, there is a great possibility that it can reach the House or the Senate and could be very detrimental. Another example is the Hyde Amendment, which Congress passed in 1977. This was a way to combat the Roe versus Wade decision, and according to Maggie Astor in her 2019 article, What is the Hyde Amendment? A look at its impact as Biden reverses his stance. Published at New York Times, the Hyde Amendment prevents the use of Medicaid dollars to pay for an abortion unless the mother is at risk of her life, it's incest, or rape. Astor states it is estimated the Hyde Amendment prevents more than 60,000 abortions per year. In other words, since Congress could not overturn Roe versus Wade, they created this act to help kind of impact the decision that was created. With the problem in mind, now let's go over the causes of the problem. There are two main reasons why Congress wants to see Roe versus Wade overturned. And the first reason is the belief that all humans have a right to life, no matter if it's before birth or after. According to Rosen and Rebenstein, in their 2014 article, the Declaration, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights states that the Declaration, Constitution, and Bill of Rights are based on the idea that all people have certain fundamental rights that need to be protected by the government. They then proceeded to explain the government must fulfill their duty to protect life by surrendering the right under any circumstances to protect the life and to stop abortions. This shows that there is a feeling held to protect all lives no matter before or after birth. However, legal abortions can reduce or eliminate certain emotional and financial burdens. According to Chrissy Danielson in her 2019 article, terminating a desired pregnancy for medical reasons or poor prognosis states that a child born with anencephaly will only live up to a few hours or days after birth. In other words, the emotional burden can be avoided with the option of a legal abortion. The second reason is based on the belief that women do not have reproductive rights because a pregnancy involves another life rather than just their own. According to Grace W. in her 2017 article, A Threat to Women and Our Constitutional Rights to Privacy, some Republican Party members such as Kavanaugh have stated that a woman's right to privacy is a tide of free-willing judicial creation of enumerated rights that were not rooted in the nation's history of tradition. That being said, just like Kavanaugh, many pro-lifers believe that the right to privacy regarding women's pregnancy is irrelevant because it's not only their own life that is in their hands. However, a mother's right to privacy is part of the equal rights we have as humans. According to Rachel Hart's 2016 article, Why Reproductive Rights Matter in an Open Society, stated that the Open Society Foundation has supported and defended reproductive rights with the help of several organizations throughout the world. With the definition of equality stating the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. This fight is to maximize equality and dismantle the idea that women are not meant only to reproduce. Proving the importance of reproductive rights will be used as leverage needed to create a step ahead in this ongoing controversy. Now that we have gained an understanding of the problems and some causes, let's move on to the solution. The solution, which is to oppose overturning Roe v. Wade, has two benefits. The first benefit being it will avoid emotional and financial misfortune that comes with birthing a child with life-threatening birth defects. According to Ted Oshman in his 2017 article, the cost of being a parent to a child with birth defects stated that in the U.S. alone, $2.6 billion is spent annually for children with birth defects. Though the cost varies, emotional issues arise as well as the stress of all of that financial stress. This shows that not only is the emotional burden high, but the financial burden is enormous. The second benefit is to continue protecting the women's rights to their body and reproduction. According to Hart, who I mentioned earlier, retaining privacy rights to the body allows women to control their own destiny. In other words, protecting reproductive rights underpins an open society. She also states that this privacy right gives them the ability to control their own destiny, which they wouldn't have without this right. In conclusion, overturning Roe v. Wade is not only disregarding a mother's right to privacy, it is also intruding on the financial and emotional burden that comes with giving birth to a child with life-threatening birth defects. Looking forward, overturning this law may lead to devastating effects on mothers, and not only mothers, but as well as their families. First, we learned the problem, which is Congress wants to see Roe v. Wade overturned, and this is supported by Congress has supported multiple laws such as the Protecting Life and Taxpayers Act of 2019 and the Hyde Amendment. Their goal in this was to create a obstacle for the mother's right in choosing an abortion. Next, we learned two reasons Congress wants to see Roe v. Wade overturned. Congress believes that every human has a right to life, no matter the situation and no matter the circumstances. And the majority of the Congress believes that a mother's right to privacy during her reproductive times is not only a right to her specifically because she has another life inside of her. However, a mother's right to privacy is part of the equal rights we have as humans, and legal abortions can reduce emotional and financial burdens. Finally, we learned the solution, which is to oppose the overturn of Roe v. Wade, and by doing this, it offers two important benefits. These benefits include avoiding the emotional and financial burden that can come with birth defects, and the second benefit is giving all women rights to decide what they want to do with their body, their pregnancy, and their life. The evidence is clear. Overturning Roe v. Wade would create issues personally and culturally countrywide. Please consider the facts I have given to you and help me in the support of opposing the overturn of Roe v. Wade. Your support will help politically move our Congress in the direction of opposing the overturn, and in turn will help substantiate the 219 abortions that occur every 1,000 births. Thank you for your support.